Scaring me, honey. I don't see anything.
This footage brings us to the quiet of a late night in what appears to be a typical family home. A user is recording a simple video in their bedroom, unaware that the camera is about to capture something that defies easy explanation. The atmosphere is calm, the lighting is dim, and for a few moments everything seems perfectly normal. However, as we watch the background, the shadows near the doorway begin to behave in a way that suggests the uploader might not be as alone as they believe.
Hell no. Bro, what the?
The first anomaly occurs early on, where a small figure resembling a person appears to peek around the corner of the door frame. Just moments later, the door itself begins to swing shut with a deliberate motion. Some viewers are convinced this is a classic shadow presence or a spirit playing hide and seek. Others suggest that a family member could have been standing just out of sight, pulling the door or peeking into the room as a prank. What do you think was hiding in that hallway? Share your thoughts below. Coming to us from the account of a concerned parent, this video was captured by a home security camera. It shows a young individual in a living room distracted by something out of frame. The room is cluttered with the signs of daily life, including piles of laundry on the couch. There's a heavy silence that fills the space, a silence that is soon interrupted by movements that seem to originate from within the furniture itself. It is a chilling reminder that even our most comfortable spaces can sometimes harbor the unexplained when we aren't looking directly at them.
Blowing off steam. But now at the casino, she's playing to avenge Paul's death. She lures Victor into a trap, letting him gain his confidence, win a few hands just to see what his tendencies are. But then she goes for the throat.
Within 4 hours, Sally has cleaned Victor out, winning the entire $100,000 pot.
If you look closely at the pile of clothes on the couch, something appears to reach out or shift the fabric from the inside. This movement is fluid and doesn't seem to match the person's position. But pay close attention to the audio as the individual moves away, because the atmosphere is about to take a much louder turn.
Winning the entire $100,000 pot.
Frequently in a poker game like this, because the stakes are so high,
the sudden crashing sound startled both the person present and viewers alike. Some believe this is evidence of an unseen force focusing its energy on the laundry or the furniture. Others argue that a pet or even the individual themselves could have bumped into something off camera that we simply cannot see. Experts also mention that in a lived-in home, items often shift or fall due to gravity or vibrations from nearby traffic. However, the timing of the visual movement and the subsequent noise is certainly suspicious. Could something be living inside that couch, or is this just a series of coincidences? I want to hear your theories on this one. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever experienced something similar in your own home. This collection of clips comes from an office worker who found herself alone during a night shift. What started as a routine evening quickly devolved into a series of unsettling encounters that she managed to document on her phone. The office is empty, the halls are silent, and the fluorescent lights hum with an eerie energy. She begins filming after hearing strange noises in the lobby, leading her on a tense walk through a building that seems to have a mind of its own. As we follow her journey, keep a close watch on the doorways and the furniture in the background.
So I'm just sitting at work, and I hear things fall in the lobby. Not sure. And the lights are off. They were on. Oh, and they're on now. All right, yeah, I'm gonna be done with that. Oh, nope, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, what was that?
A sharp, metallic bang echoes through the office, sounding as if something was forcefully knocked over. The worker is visibly shaken, yet she continues to explore. But the building is just getting started, and the next event will prove much harder to ignore.
I'm done. Oh, what was that? So I'm at work again. Coulter's acting up as we're now referring to her. Mm. Maybe it's somebody. I don't know. Nobody should be here.
The door to the back room swings open with surprising force, as if someone had just pushed through it from the other side. This physical manifestation of energy is a hallmark of hauntings, but the most visual evidence is still waiting in the dark.
There's literally no one here. I'm going to do what some of you suggested today and try to communicate with the spirit at work. This is just a proof that no one is here with me. I'm here by myself. I'm here. Right. I'm going to try. Not once for yes and twice for no. Is there anyone here with me? Do you know who I am? Are you stuck here? So, y'all have been following my Holter diaries here lately. So I'm pretty sure there's something standing in the doorway to the break room. Am I crazy, or is that somebody standing there? I don't. Do y'all see that? Hey guys, this is just an update to let you all know that I'm okay. I'm back at work today, but I'm no longer.
The most disturbing moment occurs when she captures a dark, humanoid shape standing perfectly still in the break room doorway. Some viewers believe this is a genuine shadow presence, or perhaps a residual haunting of a former employee. Skeptics point out that in high-stress situations, our minds often search for familiar shapes in the darkness, a phenomenon known as pareidolia. They also suggest that a colleague could have stayed late and was simply standing in the dark, though the worker insists she was alone. The sheer volume of activity in this building, from moving objects to slamming doors, makes this one of the most comprehensive cases we've seen. What do you make of the figure in the doorway? Is it a person or something far more malevolent? Let me know your best theories in the comments section. Those were just the first 3 anomalies of the night. From peeking figures to shadow entities and physical manifestations in an office, the evidence is mounting. If you're enjoying Pale Playback, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an investigation. We release new evidence every single week. Now, steel yourselves because the next set of clips might be even more disturbing. This footage comes to us from a user working late into the night at a seasonal attraction. The season for scares was coming to an end, and the crew was tasked with breaking down the elaborate haunted setup. It is usually a routine job, but the atmosphere changes when you're alone in the dark with props designed to look unsettling. As he moves through the storage area with nothing but a flashlight to guide him, he comes across a discarded animatronic that seems out of place. The man claims the power to the building has already been disconnected, meaning nothing in here should be functional. However, as the beam of his light hits the figure, the silence is broken by something that definitely was not part of the plan.
This is creepy. We're here breaking down the haunted house for the season. Just casually was walking over here. Just noticed that there's something by the cone.
Do you want to play with me and all my friends?
The prop begins its scripted sequence despite the lack of a power source. While the speaker sounds clear, the mechanics are even more unsettling in this context. But it isn't finished with its uninvited performance just yet.
Do you want to play with me and all my friends? Come out, wherever you are.
This was not in the corn maze. This was not in the house.
Why do you look so scared? I heard in the graveyard.
The prop continues to react, seemingly asking why the worker looks so frightened. It is a perfectly timed line for a haunt, but a terrifying coincidence if the machine is truly acting on its own. Watch as the interaction continues.
House.
Why do you look so scared? Everyone in the graveyard just wants to be friends.
No idea where this came from, and it's powered up.
I love the cemetery, especially at midnight, when it's colder, when the other children are long asleep, and the dead awaken.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
want to play with me and all my friends? Come out wherever you are.
that's gonna stay there. That's yeah. That's gonna stay there. I don't know where it came.
The persistence of the audio loop is what catches many viewers off guard. Paranormal enthusiasts suggest that haunted objects or locations can provide a residual energy source that allows electronics to trigger without batteries or mains. They argue that the emotional weight of the setting could fuel such an event. On the other hand, skeptics point out that many high-end animatronics have internal capacitor banks or emergency backups designed to finish a sequence if power is cut. They also suggest that a simple short circuit caused by moisture could have triggered the file. Despite these logical explanations, the timing of the laughter as the worker retreats is hard to ignore. It is a stark reminder of why we fear the things we build to imitate us. What do you make of this malfunctioning machine? Was it just a hardware glitch, or was something else providing the spark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Our next piece of evidence takes us to the edge of a residential property bordering a dense wooded area. The uploader was out checking on a newly installed fence when he felt the unmistakable sensation of being watched. There's something profoundly primal about that feeling, especially when the sun is beginning to set and the shadows start to stretch between the trees. He begins to film, scanning the brush for any sign of a person or an animal. He expects to find a stray pet or perhaps a deer, but what he actually captures peering through the vines is something far more stationary. The camera zooms in, struggling to focus through the thick foliage, revealing a face that seems to be lurking exactly where it shouldn't be.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. She's back in here trying to put me way into my property. You see her? Look at that face.
The figure remains almost perfectly still, staring back with a fixed expression. It is a high-tension moment as the filmer tries to process what he is looking at, but keep watching the bottom of the brush as the camera continues to roll.
You see her? Look at that face. Oh my god. It's right there staring at me. Dude, how scary is that shit? Oh my god, dude. What the She's crawling through.
The way the figure seems to shift or move through the vines at the very end has sparked a massive debate. Those who believe in the paranormal suggest this could be a cryptid known for lurking in the periphery of settlements. They point to the unnatural stillness followed by the sudden, low-profile movement as evidence of something non-human. Skeptics, however, suggest this is likely a prank video, where a mask or even a strategically placed prop is used to create a viral moment. Some observers have even suggested it could be a person seeking privacy. There's also the possibility of pareidolia, where the brain interprets complex patterns of leaves as a face, though the movement at the end makes that harder to justify. This footage certainly leaves us with a sense of unease. Was this a genuine encounter with the unknown? Tell me what you see in those woods down in the comments. This series of events comes from an account where a mother explains that her young daughter has been claiming that someone is in her room. To document the situation and perhaps find a logical cause, the mother started recording their nightly routines. They are currently in the process of moving, a time often associated with increased activity due to shifting energy. In this specific clip, the mother is attempting to soothe her daughter and show her that the house is safe. She tries to explain the sounds as being caused by the air conditioning vents, attempting to de-escalate the child's fear. However, the house seems to have other plans as physical objects begin to react in ways that contradict every logical explanation the mother offers during the walkthrough.
Don't be scared, baby. Come on, you're a big girl. Don't be a big girl. You're a big girl. It's okay. There's the vent right there, baby. See? The vent pushes the door. You're fine, okay? Are you a big girl? Feel scared, just remember. Baby Lenny's here, Mommy's here. We're all gonna be together in the same house. It's gonna be okay. Let's go to bed. What's wrong, Cora? Sweetie, what are you afraid of? You're scaring me, honey. I don't see anything.
The shutters slam shut with incredible force, right as the mother is looking away. It is a violent movement that terrifies both of them. But as they move back into the hallway, the activity follows them, targeting the bedroom door next.
Do not have any remote or electronics. We just opened them back up so I could show you. You have to be physically standing by the blinds in order to close them like this. There is no wires or anything like that. There's no way this could be battery powered or anything. They just close on their own. And also, all 4 of them closed at the exact same time. There's no way that's possible because you have to touch it and close it like that.
That's not creepy.
So the AC was not on when the door closed. It's very loud. And you can hear it.
The sheer aggression of the door and shutters closing is difficult to watch. The mother later demonstrates that the air conditioning vent, which she originally blamed, doesn't even have the power to move the door an inch. Researchers often point to individuals as being focuses for activity, suggesting that subconscious energy might be manifesting these physical events during times of high distress. Others believe a presence might be feeding off the atmosphere. Skeptics suggest that someone off-camera could be using invisible lines to trigger the shutters and doors. However, the raw reaction of the family and the follow-up evidence about the vents makes this a difficult case to dismiss entirely. The family has since moved, but the footage remains as a record of their time in that home. What do you believe was behind these slams? Share your theories below. The evidence is becoming increasingly hard to explain away. From talking dolls in storage units to aggressive physical manifestations in a bedroom, the tension is reaching a breaking point. If you are finding these investigations compelling, please take a moment to subscribe to Pale Playback and hit the notification bell. We dive into new mysteries and analyze viral evidence every single week. Stay with us, because our final set involves a kitchen that refuses to remain quiet and a basement with a presence of its own. This piece of evidence captures a late-night moment in a darkened kitchen where the filmer felt a presence near the window. In many cultures, the kitchen is considered the heart of the home, but at night, it can become a place of deep shadows and strange reflections. The uploader approaches the room with their camera out, hoping to catch a glimpse of what has been making noise. The video starts in the hallway, moving slowly toward the sink area. As the camera pans toward the window, we see a dark shape that doesn't belong. This is a sequence of rapid-fire events that leaves the filmer fleeing the room as the environment itself seems to turn hostile. A dark silhouette is clearly visible in the window for a split second before vanishing. But as the filmer moves closer to investigate, the kitchen cabinets under the sink provide a secondary shock. The cabinet door doesn't just fall open, it slams with a deliberate, loud bang that echoes through the room. Investigators call this an intelligent reaction, where an entity responds specifically to being observed. They suggest the figure in the window was a warning. Skeptics look at the reflection first, suggesting the shape could be the filmer's own reflection or a sensor artifact. Regarding the cabinet, they point out that a magnetic latch failure could cause a door to swing, though the speed of this particular slam suggests a more forceful pull. Whatever the case, the combination of the visual in the window and the immediate physical reaction is enough to make anyone's blood run cold. Was it a clever hoax or a true anomaly? Leave your verdict in the comments. This unsettling footage comes from a user who describes a moment that left her and her neighbor completely chilled. At first glance, it appears to be a normal night on a residential porch, but the atmosphere quickly shifts. She was recording what she thought was a peaceful evening when both she and the person next door noticed something that shouldn't have been there. The stillness of the night is about to be broken by a presence that defies explanation, captured perfectly on her smartphone camera. It is a startling reminder of how quickly a familiar setting can turn into a scene of pure mystery. Standing behind her is a dark shape that seems to vanish as quickly as it appeared. Some viewers suggest this is a classic shadow entity, appearing in the periphery of our vision. Skeptics, however, point out that digital compression and low-light conditions often create artifacts that look like figures. They argue that the neighbor's reaction could be a coincidence or prompted by the uploader's own fear. Regardless of the technical explanation, the visual evidence is undeniably spooky. What do you think was lurking on that balcony? Let me know in the comments. This recording takes us into the heart of a quiet home, specifically the kitchen area. For many, this is a place of comfort, but for the residents here, it has become a source of anxiety. They decided to leave a camera running to see if they could catch the source of strange noises they had been hearing. What follows is a demonstration of what many believe to be a classic haunting, where the physical world is manipulated by an unseen force in a way that feels incredibly deliberate and focused on a single object. Watch closely as the silence is interrupted. The cabinet door opens with a smooth, controlled motion that doesn't look like a simple failure of the hinge. Enthusiasts believe this is evidence of an entity capable of interacting with physical objects. They highlight how the door swings fully open, almost as if someone had pulled it. Skeptics argue that an uneven floor or a draft of air could cause a loose cabinet to swing. They also mention that a simple line, invisible to the resolution, could pull the door from off-camera. It's a classic case of household activity versus something more sinister. Does this look like a draft to you, or something more intentional? Share your thoughts below. We've just seen a dark presence on a balcony and kitchen cabinets operating on their own. The evidence tonight is truly mounting. If you find these playbacks chilling, make sure to subscribe to Pale Playback and hit the bell icon so you never miss an investigation. We bring you new evidence and forensic analysis every single week. Stay tuned because our final cases involve a warehouse with shifting boxes in a basement with a physical presence. This presents security footage from what appears to be a storage area. Security cameras are often the best witnesses to the unexplained because they run without bias. In this facility, workers have reported feeling as though they were being watched, but it wasn't until they checked the playback that they saw the environment reacting. As a worker walks through the aisle, the items around him seem to take on a life of their own. It is a sequence of events that escalates from minor movement to something much more aggressive and difficult to explain through normal physics. The way those boxes tumble looks almost as if they were pushed from the back. But wait, because as the worker leaves the area, the activity doesn't stop. Pay close attention to the floor space behind him. A cart moves across the aisle with significant speed, despite no one being near it. Believers point to this as clear telekinetic movement. Skeptics suggest that warehouse floors are rarely perfectly level, and a vibration could start a cart rolling. However, the timing immediately following the boxes falling is what makes this truly unsettling. It feels like a chain reaction of the unexplained. Skeptics also look for strings, but the wide angle of the camera makes that difficult to pull off without detection. What's your take on this warehouse haunting? Is it just gravity, or is something pushing back from the shadows? Tell us your theory in the comments section. Our final piece of evidence tonight comes from a user who has been documenting strange occurrences in his basement for some time. Basements are naturally creepy, but when things start moving on their own, the fear becomes very real. In this specific instance, he was simply going about his chores, moving items around the cluttered space, when the environment responded to his presence. It is a stark reminder that we might not always be alone in our own homes, especially in the places we rarely visit. Keep your eyes on the background as he prepares to leave. Those who believe in the paranormal see this as a sign of an entity waiting for a moment of distraction to manifest. Skeptics point out that moving heavy bins could create enough air pressure or vibration to pop a door open. They also note the possibility of a hidden string. However, the timing is perfect for a scare. It's hard to ignore the feeling that something wanted him to know it was there. This basement activity remains one of the more debated clips we've seen recently. What's your verdict? Is it a presence or just physics? Leave your thoughts in the comments. That concludes our investigation for tonight. We've seen a diverse range of evidence, from the subtle and creepy to the overt and aggressive. The recurring theme across all these videos is the sudden intrusion of the impossible into the mundane, an animatronic that speaks without power, a figure in the woods that moves like a shadow, and doors that slam shut in defiance of physics. Whether you believe these are glimpses into a world we don't yet understand or simply the results of clever trickery, the impact they have on our sense of security is undeniable. Each clip challenges us to look a little closer at the shadows in our own homes and the movement in the trees. If you haven't already, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing. We are dedicated to uncovering and analyzing the unexplained, and your support allows us to keep the playback running. Thank you for joining us tonight on Pale Playback. Until next time, keep your eyes open and try to get some sleep.